Cool. Myself, Rajat, I'm the Vice President of Chronicle. Along with me on panel as well, we have Anshuman, Shubjyoti, Anshuman, Vice President of Chronicle as well, Shubjyoti, President of Chronicle, and all other members of Chronicle as well. Okay, so Ironwords in general. Firstly, why are we even conducting this event, or why are we even conducting this particular session? Veer Baal Diwas, as again like so uh, told us or at least instructed us by the different colleges and our above authority as well on this particular occasion, we have to organize something called a session, an informative session which will actually help you to go forward, to learn about debating, to learn about public speaking, to learn about things or actually elocution in general, which means what you'll be getting from this particular event. This particular session is like how you can debate better, how you can actually convert your normal simple random yaps to actual logical arguments with which you can actually win debates at the end. And again, we'll be also be getting a sneak peek of how parliamentary debates look in general. I mean, why so? People who have already been selected into Chronicle, then again, this will be a small teaser for you guys what you can actually expect from Chronicle. But again, secondly, who are not even selected for Chronicle, like no worries, guys. Apart from this, we also have so many competitions as of now organized by Chronicle, which basically means if you excel in those competitions, you can actually be part of Chronicle, right? Which means either ways, this particular event with this particular session would really be beneficial to you all. I guess my screen has stopped working. No, it's working. Something happened. I don't know. Whatever. Shubjyoti will be taking care. Shubjyoti will be taking the initial part of this particular Ironwords. Uh, Post that, we'll be having a small activity conducted by me. So yeah, that's it. Shubjyoti, all yours.
Hello everyone, can someone confirm that I'm clearly audible?
Yes, Shubjyoti.
Alright, and is my screen visible?
Yes.
Alright, perfect. So, hello everyone, welcome to the interactive session, Iron Words. The concept of the session is to give you a brief introduction about how debates function and what are the different debate activities that Chronicle in general engages with, and most importantly, why is debate important to you as an average individual. Let us say you're somebody who is currently studying in college and is more or less slightly interested in developing your knowledge base about different things. For example, maybe what's happening around the globe, or let's say, for example, maybe what's going on in politics, or what's going on with regards to, let's say, different international relations, or with different policy decisions that are being made by the government, or new laws being formed, things like that. I think often enough, a lot of us have a lot of opinions with regards to what should be, what shouldn't be, and what is right and what isn't. The entire construct of society is based upon certain very deeply ingrained concepts like principles, values, virtues, rights, and a lot of moral, ethical frameworks and a lot of legal frameworks as well. So, when you look at society as a whole, I think when you introspect a little bit, you will realize that society itself is a large scale mechanism, and this mechanism has a lot of wings to it. And all of these different subsections for the mechanism is a theoretical concept of study in itself that a lot of people actually engage in studying, that a lot of people actually engage in discussion over. But to keep this mechanism running, or to keep this mechanism active, or most importantly, to prevent this mechanism of the social construct from failing, there are a lot of amendments that keep on happening. It's a part of evolution and a part of change. And accordingly, social narratives, accordingly, let us say, different sorts of narratives with regards to what principles, what rights are defined, and what sort of privileges, power, what sort of, let's say, liberties should be provided to people within the society. All of these things are defined accordingly. Now, the problem or the setup changes slightly when you realize that at certain points in time, across all geopolitical spheres or across the entire sociological construct as well, not all people agree with all decisions. We are human beings, we are not bound to agree to everything that the other person has to say. And that is where emerges something we understand as a dispute, which is that two people do not necessarily agree to what is being spoken about. Now, some might say that, okay, we think that this measure is good enough. Now, some might say we think that this measure is not good enough. Some might say that this measure should not happen at all. And some might say that this measure is probably a small step towards a change. What I just explained to you is a spectrum. The spectrum is almost always identically the representation of what an average society thinks. You have very radical people, you have moderates, you have liberals, and you have conservatives as well. All of these different connotations are coined to help you get a clearer understanding of what a person is thinking. Now, think about this societal construct. Think about why am I even talking about something so convoluted and philosophical? The reason for that is because the concept of debate originates from the very concept of democracy, wherein for a mechanism like this to work, people need to have the power to put forward their opinion, and people must have the liberty to be able to engage with this opinion in a justified manner and to be able to retort to it, have an exchange of words, and come to a common understanding. And this forum, where people or representatives of people have the capacity to put forth their thoughts, their words, their, let's say, ideas with regards to something, whether they agree or disagree to it and other aspects. This forum itself is a very bare but most important construct of democracy. Now, the forums, originally obviously considered to be the most active debating forums, followed the Socratic method, wherein you had to go ahead and engage with an idea, see what you come up with. Socratic method is still used in modified versions. It's still used in B schools. It's still used in different places, where you have to go ahead and defend your ideas or have to go ahead and stress test whether you're actually doing, let's say, the correct justice to doing the justice to whatever you're thinking or whatever the setup or a system is that you have thought of. Now, from the Socratic method, we have long since come forward with a lot of different debate formats. This session will talk to you about inherently what debating is, most importantly, what debating is not, what are the different constructs that we want to go ahead and cover within debating, give you a nice sneak peek into the sort of modern debating formats that we follow, and the sort of expectations that you can have in terms of engagement with regards to whatever we'll have in this particular, let's say, society. Now, let's proceed forward with the same. The first thing that we will discuss is obviously what is debating. Debating, and this is a convoluted explanation, I'll break it down for everyone. Debating is the structured practice of advocating for and against a proposition by using logic, evidence, and comparative reasoning to persuade an informed audience within time and role constraints. Now, let us start breaking this down because I am pretty sure that a lot of people didn't really get what this sentence meant. First of all, when we talk about an informed audience, we are talking about the average intelligent voter, somebody who has average amount of knowledge, average amount of understanding of how the world works. They are not specialists basically in any field, like they are not supposed to be specialists in any field. They're supposed to only abide by pure logic and pure reasoning as to whether a decision is correct or not, or whether an argument is correct or not. That in itself is the entire construct of what an informed audience is about. An informed audience is an audience that has a certain amount of awareness about almost everything that's happening in the globe, but no fixed, let's say, exceptional awareness about something. Who have like they do have PhDs in something or have like a lot of their decision in a very logical and in a very analytical manner, whether it makes sense if you try to reason it out. Let's talk about time and role constraints. Debating as an activity, be it as a sport, be it as something that is being mediated within a courtroom, be it something which is a part of maybe a practice session for graduates of business schools and all of that. In its activity in itself, debating will require you to identify a time and a role constraint. So there's only a limited amount of time that is provided to anybody who engages with debating, and then there is a very limited amount of role capacity that is provided to anybody who is debating, to make sure that the panel or the frame of the debate is the most equitable and the most fair to everybody that is engaging with it. And that is why debating is so important, because it gives you an open forum with equal opportunity to engage, refute, and talk about your thoughts about a certain matter. And the people who you talk to through this format are supposed to be informed audiences who make a final call. Now, debating is often enough a very structured practice, because within the nuances, there's a lot of nuances that debates have, and within the nuances as well, there are a lot of sub clauses and everything, which means that the more you delve and explore into debating, the more you're likely to go ahead and find very specific, let us say, lines or very specific rules that have been written to make sure that each and every format is as acceptable, as approachable, and as fair as possible. So, a lot of nuance has gone into the creation of the different debate formats that we have, into the engagement that we are able to get through debating. And it is all very structured and very, let's say, engineered to perfection to a far greater degree, because people who have thought of or conceived these formats have done it with the primary goal of this serving as a very important or chief academic tool in multiple, let's say, universities, in multiple, let's say, schools and colleges. Different debating formats are utilized alongside their regular classes, within their regular classes, to give them, let's say, an exposure to something that helps them get a clarity on how to use your logic and reasoning, and how to actually defend an analysis that you have from your side of the paradigm. Now, when we talk about advocating for and against a proposition, we are simply talking about taking sides on whether we agree to something or whether we don't agree to something. And when we talk about using logic, evidence, and comparative reasoning, we are talking about whether whatever I'm saying is logically valid, is a reasonable construct, and whether whatever I'm saying is being shown as comparatively better than whatever the other person is saying. Because see, debating is just not about disagreement, it's also about a conclusion. And the concluding point in a debate is where somebody is able to clearly or marginally show a difference of why one side should win over the other, or why one side is better than the other in different aspects. The aspects need not be same everywhere. The constraints, or let's say the final, let's say, metrics that you will utilize to make sure which side is basically more, let's say, appropriate to go for than the other, they change across different debates. But you do have some key metrics that you're going to utilize in every debate to make sure that you're coming to an apt call on which side is more viable and more important than the other. Now, before we move forward, let's talk about what is not debating, because I think this is something that needs to be clarified a lot, because debating in itself has a lot of nuance. Debating in itself has, like, let's say, a lot of caveats and all. But a lot of the times people think debating is just shouting memorized speeches, with like the idea that this is probably an English fluency contest, which means you're probably using a lot of high and mighty tough words. Not that that's wrong, but the way that you put forward your words and sentences should mean something. It should have a certain meaning, should follow a certain structure. That is what debating is about. Debating does not punish a speaker for not being able to speak clearly, or for not being able to, let us say, show exemplary vocabulary. What debater will punish a speaker for is not being able to put forward their thoughts in a logical, clear manner. And that is the most important thing that you're supposed to go ahead and keep in mind. As a debater, it's not about memorizing a speech and putting it forth. Almost a lot of the debate formats, the inherent way that they are shaped, actually disincentivizes people from memorizing speeches. You will not have the opportunity or the liberty to memorize a speech. You will have to go ahead and fall back a lot upon the capacity for you to think on your feet, to rely on your reasoning skills, to actually sharpen your reasoning skills to the point that you can refute an argument within an instantaneous point, and to come to an idea of what this refutation is going to look like and why is this refutation logically viable and valid. That is how you sharpen your skills as a debater. That is more important. Hence, the key difference between debating and other public speaking activities is that debating in a form of public speaking does not expect exemplary vocabulary, but will expect exemplary structure with which you go ahead and talk about whatever you have to talk about. Now, let's talk about the next thing that we have. And that is basics of logic. So now I think by this time we have already discussed so much about or used the word logic, reason so much. Let's try to break it down. Debating is often enough reliant on three things: claim, reason, impact. This is something that you will face, or this is something that you will engage with throughout the time that you're active as a debater, even in other public speaking activities as well. Because claim is basically, what are you saying? It is an assertion. It has not been proven yet. It may be true in the real world, but in the debate system or the debate context that you have been placed in, it is assumed to be not true. It is your burden to prove it and then move forward, right? Unless it's a universal truth, any statement you make in a debate forum is assumed to not be true inherently, and you have to prove it and then move forward. So, what happens after a claim? The reason. Why should we believe it? What is the logical reason for us to believe it? Now, this is where the second question and the answer to the second question itself is a large chunk of what we understand as argumentation. So, how do you build your argument? Your arguments for any side, whether you are trying to prove that it is correct or whether you're trying to prove that it is wrong, it being whatever we are debating, the argument itself is going to be multiple answers for why should we believe it. It can be one answer, very well written, or it can be multiple answers, decently fairly approached. Either works, but it has to be an answer to the question of why should we believe it. That's a reason. And then the most important thing, see, debaters almost always stop at reason because they think that, okay, if I'm saying something and I'm proving what I'm saying, I'm a good debater, I should win. The point of a debate was not for you to prove that you have the capacity to drop a claim and provide a reasoning. It was to prove that a particular motion has a certain positive or a negative, and that positive value of it needs to come to your side. It is not inherently said that the motion going for the motion is going to be a positive value to the society or to, let's say, 10, 20 people. You have to establish why defending the motion is going to be a positive value for the society or for whoever you think it is. That is the third thing: impact. What happens if it is true? If it is true, what are the tangible benefits? What are the practical benefits and values that we are able to derive? And why does that mean that you are supposed to win the debate? Or, very simple, why does it mean that your side of the paradigm is actually able to guarantee a net value addition to the society or to whichever stakeholder you're talking about? That is how a debate is decided. And let us now talk about comparative logic, because we also use the word comparative logic. Simply means that your job as a debater is not only to prove that your side is perfect, not that you will never be able to do that. Even if you try your best, it's probably not going to work a lot because no side is perfect. There are always loopholes at every point in time. But the essence of debate is largely to also prove that your side is better than the alternative. The alternative, obviously, is the opposing side, is the other side of the paradigm. That is more important. This is the structure that you have to keep in mind. This third part of the entire setup, that you also have to prove why you are better or why your side is better than the opposing side, factually, logically, is the more important factor that we will have to talk about or we have to go ahead and keep in mind as a debater. This is the entire construct of how a debate works. You can take this slide up, utilize it in any format you want, any format, and it's going to work. That's how these slides are made. So, this is the very core crafts of how debating in itself works. Moving on then to what is competitive debating. Competitive debating in itself involves, let's say, two segments. One is debating itself, and the other is adjudication or judging. Now, when you are looking at a competitive debate environment, as a debater, there'll be certain things that you'll be given. You'll be given a motion, basically the topic. You'll be given sides, basically whether for or against. You'll be given time limits, which is obviously fair. You cannot keep on speaking for eternity. And most importantly, you will be given judges. Now, these judges will assess you based on comparative persuasion. What does comparative persuasion mean? We just understood comparative logic. Comparative logic tells us that we have to compare our logic with the other side and prove why our logic is better than the other side. That is fair. Now, what is comparative persuasion? It is nothing else but just the same thing. And by persuasion, we mean that you must have the capacity to persuade the speakers to go ahead and vie to your side of the paradigm. Now, persuasiveness comes from solid reasoning. In debates, it is assumed that persuasiveness, the most important thing. Why do you have the capacity to pursue someone to actually believe in your side of the paradigm? A skeptic, why do you think that a skeptic would be willing to believe in what you have to say? Is the concept of persuasion. And if the audience in front of you is a skeptic, but still a reasonable individual, somebody who believes in logic and reasoning, then debates inherently work on the assumption that the person in front of you is going to find value in the logic and reasoning that you have put forth and hence be persuaded. That is why we call it comparative persuasion, because you are then supposed to go ahead and first compare your logic with the other side, explain why your logic is sound, and then go back and tell the audience why you think that you should be the one that should be given the merit of the debate. That is comparative persuasion. Now, what is judging? Now, there is a component for judging as well. We also have a lot of people who debate, we have a lot of people who judge. As judge, you're supposed to go ahead and keep in mind few structures like logic and structure, relevance to the motion. Basically, how relevant were the debaters to the motion? How logical were the debaters? How structured was the speeches? And then what were the impacts and how were the impacts compared, and then what was the engagement with the other side. These are some of the most important, let's say, factors that are taken into consideration by judges who judge debates, and then they are able to give a call on what they think as per their opinion which side takes the debate. This is a part of almost every debate format as well. So this is the bare basics of what you can expect in any or every debate format with regards to how debaters are involved and how judges are involved. Now, let us have an overview of major debate formats, a bird's eye view basically. Now, all across the globe, there are different debate formats that are followed through with. Right? We have Asian parliamentary. This is something that's very popular in Asia. We have British parliamentary. This is popular all across the world. Almost everybody across, like, of the active debating countries, British parliamentary is probably the most accessible and the most active debate format. And then we also have Australasian format, which is Australs. It's very specific to Australia. We also have the presidential debate format. The presidential debate format is essentially another form of debating. All of these Asian, British, Australs, all of these are parliamentary debate formats. Presidential is totally different. We have the Oxford format as well. Within parliamentary, we also have American parliamentary. We also have Canadian national debate format. So there are a lot of debate formats. But the ones that we at Chronicle prioritize or focus a lot is obviously Asian parliamentary, where we have three speakers per side and obviously two sides. And then British parliamentary, which is slightly more complicated than Asian parliamentary, which has four teams but two sides. That is two teams on each side. So we have two government teams, two opposition teams. And we have two speakers. The slide has mentioned three, but we actually have two speakers per team, and that is British parliamentary format. So this is the essence of what the formats kind of look like. And there's another or other structural differences as well across the parliamentary formats, but you will have a specific orientation for parliamentary debates separately. and you will have a specific orientation for presidential debates separately. This is the first session. It is supposed to go ahead and give you a certain amount of clarity with regards to debating. What in itself is the activity, how to engage with the activity, what are the key constructs that you're supposed to go ahead and be a part of, and how do you go ahead and maneuver a debate room. This in itself is the entire scope of what we want to discuss today. After this, we'll have an interactive activity that will be taken by Rajat, and after that, we'll continue forward to wrap up the session. Once you are properly inducted into the society, um, and I, as president, congratulations to everybody who made it to Chronicle. After your formal induction is done, then you will be able to go ahead and access specific sessions on parliamentary debating, presidential debating, because this is very active and very, let's say, popular in India. So you have the scope to engage with different presidential debates as well and parliamentary debates as well. And we keep sending teams and speakers all across the nation to for these particular debates. Sometimes for online tournaments, sometimes for offline tournaments. And based on the feasibility, we keep on sending contingents out. So keep your eyes out for any of our opportunities on that. We are also sending some teams out very soon, basically in January itself. January is going to be a packed month because we have like a lot of tournaments upcoming. You might not be able to be a part of a lot of them because of, let's say, lack of familiarity or because of lack of training or practice. But if we are able to inculcate you into the tournament, we will definitely go ahead and try to do so. That's a promise from our side. That's all from my end. Rajat, please feel free to take this forward.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Shov. That was a great session. I mean, guys, people who are actually part of Chronicle right now, it is already a Kickstarter for your debating journey, or at least Chronicle journey. And people who are not a part of the part of Chronicle, I mean, guys, it's like you're getting it. The knowledge that you'll be getting in this particular session, you can actually use this in your further competitions that will be held by Chronicle, and apart from that, in next year's recruitment drive as well. Which means who knows that you probably be a part of Chronicle within the next 1 year through the recruitment drive or even in the competitions ahead. We actually have one, two, three, four, five competitions before the next recruitment drive. Founders Cup, Clash of Conviction, Pratija, Vivad, East India Pre-Worlds. So we have five competitions a year. We organize five competitions a year. If you excel in any one of the competitions, that will be enough for you. Uh, that would be enough for you to actually be a part of Chronicle. So yeah, that's a great thing. Okay, cool. See, I understand that you guys have learned so much right now. Let's use it somehow. Let's actually go and execute it somewhere so that you can actually have a thorough understanding of what is actually going on. And of course, the last time I had taken this session, the thing that you loved the most was the two-word connecting game or two-word connection storytelling that we will be having at the end. That is a very fun activity at the fun activity, of course. But now we will be playing a game called the role playing. I know people love role playing, people love the concept of role playing, but this role playing is completely different. Whenever you come to Asian parliamentary debates or any parliamentary debate in general, there's something called as actor motion, which basically means you have to uh, give your arguments from the perspective of that particular actor, right? Which means uh, I can probably be against China taking over the Northeast India. But if I am suddenly Xi Jinping or if I'm suddenly a random person from China, then probably it would be a good thing for me, right? That's something called as role playing here, which means it will be started by any of the Chronicle members. Okay, wait, Chronicle members, please raise a hand who would be up for this particular activity. This would be a very fun activity. Okay, Chronicle I mean, the existing Chronicle members, guys, the people who are a part of the group right now. Okay, okay, fine. That's sad. Well, I'll just randomly take one's name. Who's there? Chalo Smith. Awesome. Cool. Smith. See, now I will be allocating you a random role which you have to role play. Which means now, for example, you are a broke hostel student because that defies you a lot because your statement is I am poor. But again, so you are a broke hostel student and you believe money matters more than passion. Defend this particular statement.
For
Take
how
a time.
many minutes?
Okay, fine. Take time for like 30 seconds time. Post that. Let's have this particular session. This would be really fun. I mean, guys, like you are doing a role playing, you are actually representing one particular role that we are allocating to you, and now you have to like tell in that particular favor. Smith, are you ready?
Yeah,
Money matters
I
more
have to
than
speak
passion.
for what time? How much? How
Oh,
many?
give enough arguments. If the audience is okay with the arguments, then we can actually
Okay, if
like,
anyone gets bored, just drop
yeah,
it
yeah.
in text. I'll
Yeah,
stop.
just drop a text. Don't leave the meeting, guys. I mean, yeah, that's the obvious answer to drop the meet. Yeah, leave the meeting if you're bored. But
Yes.
yeah, we will be having more fun activities ahead.
Right, guys. So basically, I am role playing, and what am I? I am a broke hostel student. So
Yes.
let's consider what broke hostel student has. Literally nothing. No money, hence no particular materialistic assets. What I have is aspirations and passion. What I have to defend as a broke hostel student is that money is more important than your passion or whatever you want to pursue. Definitely. Why? Because let's say I want to be a web developer, but there aren't not even web developer. I aspire to learn a skill, get a certificate, but now I have no money. And how will I enroll in this particular courses? How will I get certificates? How will I now boost my resume via these certificates? I do not have money. That means basically I am highly restricted towards accessing the materials, accessing the resources that will push me beyond my existing skill set. Since I am broke, also now I have to suffer through a very bad mess food. Hence, I cannot order food outside. So yeah.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. That was a fun reasoning from Smith. I mean, this is basically fun activity with debating in general, which means you are role playing a broke hostel student. Suppose that we'll be having one from the audience right now. I'll be giving you one role and you have to play it. Cool. People other than the Chronicle members right now, raise your hands. Who will be doing the next activity? Guys, people who are interested. Not the Chronicle members. Anyone else? I guess Neha raised her hand. Who all raised her hand the last time? Monica, are you up?
Yes, sure.
All right. So you are a college dean. You are the dean of a college, and you have to support strict attendance policies.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, uh, we have these policies so that students attend their classes and actually gain from their classes. If they skip their classes, uh, the they basically miss out on the uh, premises of the primary education that we are able to provide. We also give a little uh, slack of it, not 100%, because we believe 75 100% wouldn't be a completely realistic um, setup. And I think that's it.
All right, cool. Just a small feedback for you and for everyone in general who will be taking this particular role play activity. Is like go with what you are benefiting as that role. Which means if I'm college dean, I don't have to speak in a random philosophical manner that yeah, studying is more important or so. Even if like people are coming, even if the students are coming like are having more than 75% attendance, how it is benefiting me. That is something in role play. Which means I love Monic's point when he said that yeah, students must go to class, they must not leave they must have good attendance so that they would be getting knowledge. But again, you as dean, what you're getting in return, this is the main concept of role playing. uh, this is the main concept of role playing. You will be having fun. All right, next, who is up for this activity? Anyone, guys? Not you, Sanjeev. Anyone else? Uh, Not the Chronicle members. I think not you. Anvisha, Shreya, Aditya, Ananya, not Ananya, sorry. Bhavya, Chirag, Diksha, Lavanya, Samat. Any one of you guys. Neha.
Bhaiya, I am a Chronicle member.
I mean, the people who aren't present in the group right now. It can be the new Chronicle members as well right now. Means the new Chronicle members can be a part of this activity.
Okay.
So are you a part now?
Bhaiya, can I try this activity?
Yeah, yeah, sure, you can. All right, sure. Cool.
Okay.
Sneha, you are a final year student right now, and you believe exams are outdated.
Okay, Bhaiya.
I mean, I guess you are a first year student or second year student right now. Oh,
Love.
nice. You have to role play a final year student right now, and you believe that exams are outdated.
Okay. So, as a statements given that as a fourth year students, the exams are underrated,
Outdated, not underrated.
outdated. Yes, statements. I have to defend it, right?
Yeah, you believe that the exams are outdated.
Okay. Yes, so as per me, the statements I defended the particular statements because as a fourth or final year, as a pre-final or final year students, I believe that there is constant peer pressure from other assignments that has been a pressurized that has been providing from the college and the particular teamwork, then the projects work from the respective domains, then the respective schools that a person has been enrolled for, and then also as a final year students in the mind the placements things that is constantly going on. So I think the yes the so I defend that the exams are outdated.
All right, cool. Final activity. Anyone? This is open for all. This will be a fun one. Anyone can do. Chronicle members now, future, not in Chronicle. Anyone can do this. Cool. Shagnik, cool. Let's do this activity.
Excuse me, could I ask a question, please?
Yeah, sure.
I just joined now. Could you just tell what's going on right
Oh, we are
now?
just having an activity right now. The activity is very simple. Activity states that you will be doing a role play. I will be giving you a role. Then you have to defend a statement accordingly by being that particular character that I have mentioned in the role play activity.
Okay, fine.
Apart from that, guys, positive note, this particular session is being recorded. We will be uploading it on YouTube as well. If someone has missed the initial debating briefing part of it, you can go through it in the YouTube channel. Cool. Okay, cool. Shagnik. You are an
Hello, hello, hello.
overprotective Indian parent. You have to support strict screen time limits for students.
Okay, so hi. So screen time limits. Now, what is the screen time limit? Screen time limits mean the amount of time we spend on our screens, right? Now, strict screen time limits should be given to each and every individual. Now, what are the positive sides we get from this discussion is that during the time of COVID-19, each and every student was provided with a um, mobile phone to be precise. Now, what happened with that? If strict time limits were not given, they would just spend their entire time on phones. They won't interact with their parents. And if they didn't interact with their parents, then the family construct would totally demolish. There would be no friendship, no thoughts to be discussed on the table. Also, if we see that the screen times not given to if there is no strict time limits to be given to each and every children, now people just rely on ChatGPT, or people just rely on Google to be precise, because there is no time limits, right? People just spend endless amounts on their phones. People now just write, hello ChatGPT, generate a prompt, generate a email for that. But if there was a time limit, suppose from 8 to 9 p.m. they are allowed to use their phone, and after that an assignment is being given, they have to just think about that assignment. They have to now use their creative minds to instill it, rather than depend on some AI agent to do this. So yeah,
All right.
strict time
Awesome.
limits should
Awesome.
be given.
Yeah. Cool. 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 Wonderful. The benefits that this your overprotective parent is getting is like the child in itself is more responsible now, is spending more time with the parent. Cool. I guess this activity is getting boring. Let's shift on to the other activity. That is the activity that we love the most. That is a two words play, which is one person would be coming here. We would be giving random two words from the group chat here, and the person has to somehow make a story, make a 1 minute story with those two words. The person who will be going on first, raise their hands. Raise your hands. Okay, Sanjeev, cool. Sanjeev, cool. All right. Now I need people to drop in random words in the group chat. The first two words would be selected. Just drop one word. Okay. Wow, wow. Cool, 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 cool. We have got two random words. Those are Bihar and comb. Cool. Sanjeev, you have 30 seconds of preparation time, and then you have to give a 1 minute of story connecting Bihar and comb.
क्या वर्ड्स क्या हैं भैया?
Bihar and comb.
कोम एज इन कंघी. Cool.
Don't give me obvious reasons like Biharis are Indians, Biharis are human beings, they need comb. I mean, I don't need those answers to hear.
हाँ, cool. I'll start. कुछ सोचने को नहीं है. I don't have anything.
Start.
Yeah, so once I went to my brother's wedding, which was in Bihar, Bihar, right? And again, in that, when I went to that particular wedding, I was searching for a comb to, brush my hair after coming, while getting ready, because again, it was the most important thing, right? But again, I forgot the fact that I was in Bihar, and whatever the comb that I got from my, from my college in itself, it got stolen in the first place, right? And again, it was a very tragic thing for me as a person to not have that kind of comb, because again, I have a very bad set of hair in the first place, and it becomes very hard for me to address my hair in that particular situation, because again, I am at a wedding and my major incentive is to look good in the first place, right? But again, as I was in Bihar and the whole comb got stolen, it yeah it got stolen, it became very embarrassing for me, because I was looking like Willy Wonka in the first place, right? And again, looking like a Willy Wonka in your own brother's marriage, it's a very embarrassing thing to even look alike. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sanjeev. Guys, please do not take it. Anyone from Bihar, please do not take it personally. This is meant to be a very fun activity. Okay, so cool. All right. Next in the line, not from Chronicle. I mean, not from OG Chronicle. Okay, Lavanya, cool. Two words right now dropping here. KiiT exam. Okay, wait, Shatrupa, I have taken already a word of yours. I need two other words. Cafe and. I'm waiting for one more word. I'm waiting for one more word. Cafe and Chronicle. Awesome. Lavanya. Cool. Cafe and Chronicle. You have 30 seconds to prepare, and then you have
Yes,
to
we
give
are.
a minute of speech. Cool.
Yes, we are. Um,
Try to connect those words instead of giving a whole random story. Try to connect those words in a proper philosophical or actual connection.
so, can I start?
Yes, yes, sure.
Uh, so, on Saturday there was Chronicle GD round, and I went to to my sociology field trip that day. Um, my by the way, this is the real incident. Okay. So that day I went, and that day I had a sociology field trip. But instead of going, so instead of attending my Chronicle GD session, I went for that trip, and I wasn't knowing that my turn was in 10:20 a.m. I reached at 5:45 and asked my friend to get a way out of it, like book a seat for me, and she finally did. And she finally did, and I had a session, and I attended a GD session, and it was very terrific. Oh my god! And after attending that GD session, I then went to a cafe to have a cup of coffee for me.
All right, awesome. I mean, I would really like to make a clarifier to you. I mean, guys, do not make a whole story which has two elements. Try to connect these two elements somehow. All right, cool. Okay, fine. Next in line, anyone, it can be a chronicle member. It can, okay, fine. Who raised it first? All right, cool. We have Smith here. Smith. Two random words for Smith. Dropping now. Sorry, Shagnik, you were too early. Two random words. I need one words. I don't need two words from the same person. Tisha, you're disqualified next. Newspaper and Batman. Awesome. Smith, newspaper and Batman.
1 minute speak, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Technically, guys, these two words does not make sense at all because we all know Batman generally stays active at night, and in general, DC movies are just dark anyways. You can't even see their movies properly in theater. I don't know how Batman will read newspaper, and even if he reads newspaper, I don't know what will he do after reading newspaper because Batman in general is all right. No offense to Batman lovers, but yeah. So for me, Batman reading newspaper does not make sense because anyways, he won't be of much use. Right. Yeah, that's all.
Wow. Batman won't be of much use. Nice. Cool. Next on the line. All right, cool. Okay, Alithia. Two random words.
Oh,
Two random words dropping now. Ice cream. Wow. Next. Next, guys. King. Wow. Ice cream and king. Nice.
all right, fair enough. Cool. I'll just start. Um, The reason why you feel like a king after having an ice cream, it's basically because it's a frozen dessert, right? You feel absolutely incredible. You get this entire oxytocin burst in itself, so you like get this dopamine hit as well, which means you feel incredibly happy. And what makes you feel like the king of the world? Happiness, right? When you can actually go ahead and feel incredibly grateful and happy about things. I think ice cream is this one cure all that everyone has, which means after you go through this really bad test, after you go through a really bad breakup, it's best to just like sit and watch Netflix with some ice cream and feel like you own the world again, feel like you become the king again. I think therefore, to own your own dreams and to own your own emotions, it's important for you to have ice cream and feel like a king. That's it. Thank you.
Wow. Important knowledge from Alithia. If you're going through a breakup, have ice cream and Netflix. Next. Wait. There are like already people. Aditya, your turn. Next. Annabelle and next. Any other word, guys? Drop. Tiramisu. Wow. Annabelle and tiramisu.
Sorry,
Wonderful.
what's the second word?
It's tiramisu. It's a type of dessert. I mean, I guess it's a type of dessert if I'm not wrong. Which the Mio Amore people have ruined.
Tiramisu.
A
Okay,
coffee pastry, type of coffee pastry.
okay.
It's a
So
desert.
I
Yeah.
can consider it as a dessert. Okay.
Yeah, a specific desert, Aditya. You can't generalize
Tiramisu.
things. People would get
Okay.
offended here.
Okay, Italian dessert. Tiramisu. Okay, I
Yeah,
just
you can search it in Google and search what is a tiramisu before
yeah.
actually going. others, please lower your hands. I guess it will be tough for me to uh, check the next one in the line.
Okay. So I think I should start speaking. Yeah. Can I start?
Yeah, yeah.
So I still remember a very long years ago, like somewhere around 2020 or 2021. I was watching an Annabelle movie. Like I was watching, I guess Conjuring, and in Conjuring there was this glimpse of Annabelle. So I was very I used to be very fatu type person though. So I just ran to my mother, mom, I cannot watch the movie. But my sister was like very bold, so she forced me to watch the movie. And so I was watching the movie, and all of a sudden, like my sister was like, she was watching the movie while she wanted a coffee. So I said, okay, we can have a coffee. I'll just bring the coffee. So I just went to the kitchen to bring the coffee so that I don't have to watch the movie. I just and I stayed there, and so I am a cooking enthusiast. So what I did to pass the time, not to watch the movie, like my sister always forced me to watch the movie. So what I did in the kitchen, there was making tiramisu from coffee. Basically, um, uh, it's a dessert made up of coffee. I didn't know how to make it. I searched on Google. I tried everything. I mixed corn flour. I mixed milk. I mixed sugar. I mixed coffee, and I just make a mess of all of it, just not to watch the Annabelle movie because I was very, 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 very scared of it. And yeah, with that, I would like to conclude.
Awesome. Guys, clarification once again. Do not try to make a random story. Try to connect those two things somehow. From A
The
to B, I
word
don't
was
need.
exactly, I guess, tiramisu. Literally, I got for the very first
Oh,
time. Maybe
what could I have done? I mean,
uh,
yeah.
I could
Annabelle
have
concept है.
Annabelle.
I don't care. Fine, fine, whatever. Bhai. Cool. Next in line, Satarupa. Two random words dropping right now. Okay, cool. I didn't see any. Call and surrender. Nice. Satrupa, please do not make a random story. Please somehow connect these two things. I don't want a random fictional story again, please.
Okay, I'll try to.
Yeah.
Can I get 30 seconds?
Yes, yes.